Riveting content, empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Batiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789.
Greetings and salutations. I'm Amethyst Black, and welcome to another showing of All Things Beauty. Guess what? I just want to give you a kind of laydown of what the show is going to look like today. If this is your first time tuning in, we're actually going to be live on Facebook Live for about 10 to 15 minutes. So go ahead on and ask some questions if you're logged in right now. And then we're going to transition off and kind of head to another kind of platform or medium. So while we're on here for Facebook Live, for our viewers that are watching us live right now, please make sure you ask some questions. I have a very, very exciting guest in studio tonight. But before we get into that and introducing my guest, I just want to remind you that I can be found on any kind of social media platform at Amethyst Black Artistry. But without further ado, we have Mr. Kai Dunna in the studio. Hey, Kai. Woo-hoo. Yes, I love it. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Let me just tell you, I am absolutely ecstatic that you joined me tonight. I'm just overjoyed. I've been following your work and been a fan of your work for quite some time. And so I'm just really excited that you're in the studio tonight so that you can kind of share some of your goodness with us.
It's great to be with you.
I love it. Okay. So if our viewers are kind of watching, and this is primarily a beauty and makeup show. Okay. So if our viewers are not familiar, then Mr. Kai Dunn is actually a photographer. So we're actually going to be talking about some cool stuff tonight or during this session. But I want to first kind of get an idea of how you got started in photography.
Yeah, so a couple years ago, Amethyst, I started a clothing line. So a brand. And, while I was trying to get some products out there and get the clothes on people, I needed help from photographers. Oh. But it was always a challenge trying to get the models and photographers on the same page. So that curiosity led me into picking up the camera to invest in some time in, finding my eye.
Okay. So have you always been a creative person? Because you mentioned a clothing company, so that's not something that I think people just jump into. So have you always been creative?
I can't say I've always been creative, but I've always had a curiosity about the creative space. Okay.
I love it. So when you were transitioning, what kind of camera did you start with, at first?
I started with a basic Canon Rebel T3i, that lasted me 2 years. But basically, the goal initially starting was just to find my eye, and that's something that people refer to as your baby eye. So that's kind of
learning something new. He's dropping jewels already. Okay,
imagine the curiosity of a baby. It's looking all around and everything. Yeah. So being able to see things that just ordinary people wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. And so when did you start it? I guess kind of looking at other subjects, like instead of clothing that you were maybe taking pictures of, maybe people. How did that kind of happen? That transition?
Yeah, so I started with the clothing, and then with time, I think people started to inquire about my work. Hey,
okay,
yeah, do you want to shoot sometime, take pictures of me, my family? So that led to just asking more questions. What kind of images would you like? What would you like these pictures to be used for?
Yeah.
And going through that whole creative process and understanding what they wanted led to, do you have some money for me?
I love it. So you really started to monetize your passion. But when you were doing it at first, were you doing it for free, like pro bono, or like just to kind of?
I had to.
Wow. So have you ever gone back to those clients that you had done for free, like, hey, you owe me something, or no, it's never really happened?
No, but those clients, they understood that they got something of value free.
Absolutely.
So they kind of with time said, hey, I want you to come back and take some pictures.
Nice.
They became paying customers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, cool. And so now, where do you kind of see your photography business kind of representing in what space? Is it mainly like, are you doing lifestyle photos? Are you doing beauty work? Kind of what do you do for the bulk of your photography business?
Fashion and lifestyle, people and beauty.
Yes. Okay, so all of it. So you operate in so many different spaces.
I do. I also have some personal interest work that I do too.
Okay,
just,
please share. I'm interested to
know. When I travel, I look for art in the city, and I like to take pictures of art.
And so what do you do with those photos? Do you have a blog, or is it mainly on your Instagram? How do you kind of incorporate
I
those?
post them all over social, but I also have a collection of those pictures at home, so I actually print them.
Oh, okay. So I love it.
I'll do a canvas and I'll frame it, and I'll throw it on the wall for maybe a certain time of year. I'll take it down. I'll put something else up.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, yeah.
So when you are taking these pictures, are you taking them on your camera that you travel with, or do you take them on your iPhone, or what?
I sometimes use my phone for places that I can't physically take a camera, but I usually always pack my camera. I take my whole gear with me.
And so when you're traveling, is your camera in your carry-on bag, or are you checking it in your check luggage? Like, how do you even travel with it?
I usually don't check in a bag. I carry on. So
you don't want anything happening to that camera equipment. I understand.
I carry on, and I have it close to me.
Okay, I love it. So tell me a little bit more about kind of any future projects that you're planning on working on or kind of getting into, because word on the curb is that you were at Fashion Week, African Fashion Week here in Houston.
I was.
Doing some photos, and I was like, wow. I met someone else just kind of in passing, and she was talking about some amazing photographers she's worked with, and she mentioned your name in like the top 2 in Houston. I was like, yeah, I know him. So I felt really cool. But so you've done that before? I've
done African Fashion Week, I think for 2 years now in a row.
Wow.
And just shooting the runway, it's great for me, but also connecting with the new brands and trying to see what people are doing outside of the mainstream is also very important.
Okay, cool.
So I like to be there to see their work at the very startup phase and to see where they are like 5 years later. So I've seen some brands grow, and some of these brands are local to Houston too.
Yeah. I was reading an article this week about Coachella, because did you watch some Coachella? I know you were traveling in the last few weeks, but did you watch?
No, I didn't.
When I say Coachella, I really mean Beyonce. Did you watch the Beyonce show?
I didn't see any of that, unfortunately.
What? No. Okay, for our viewers out there, did y'all see Beyonce? Did y'all see Baychella? I just need to know. I need to know, because I need someone to kind of rhetorically analyze all of this process with me. I'm still processing. Speaking of a process.
Break it down. What happened?
We're going to have to do it off air, because I'll be talking for the full 45 minutes. But I was reading an article this week about a young photographer from Texas, based in Texas actually, who is now doing a lot of festivals or music concerts and being paid by the actual organizations to do the photography. Right. So Coachella, for instance, Austin City Limits, ACL, Lollapalooza, like all these major kind of music festivals. And so one thing that he was mentioning in the article that I was reading was that, as he's taking the pictures of these live events, like you never want to go back and look at an event and like that moment that everyone's talking about. Right. You never want to like miss that moment. Otherwise, you haven't done your job. Yeah. And so my question is, do you even get to enjoy these, like you doing African Fashion Week here in Houston, do you even get to enjoy that type of experience, or are you just like, it's work?
It is work. Okay. I mean, you stay active, you stay present, you kind of you know to anticipate the shot. So you know, for me, I've done, you know, these events a few times, so I kind of find my sweet spot. I know when something exciting is coming. I can feel it. And
lead up to it,
yeah,
right?
so I position myself to make the photo, you know. So I think you're very present, and you see it from a different perspective, but you also see it from the viewer's perspective. So when they start to analyze your work, you know, they're like, hey, that's a great photo. They start to give you feedback, and then they start to tell you about maybe other people in the space. You know, hey, you should check out this person.
Nice.
So,
very nice.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so it is really a process that you're kind of going through.
It is a process.
Okay, yeah. Put a pin in that. I'm actually going to want to know more about that process in a second.
Okay.
But first, I want to say that this portion of the show is actually sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. Did you know that in only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33%, or more than 77 million Americans, do not pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans actually carry credit card debt from month to month. And another 39% of adults say they do not have enough savings. Do not become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your free personal financial strategy session. Contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or email us at info@houstonhousewivesoffinance.com and ask us about how you can participate in a free financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services. Thanks, ladies. Okay, so more about this process, because I've got to know. So when you're preparing, kind of what do you do? Because as a fellow creative, I kind of have this space that I need to operate in when I kind of do my best work. Like for me, it needs to be at least a 2-hour span before my event starts or before I start working. I need kind of quiet. I need to have a clear mind, a clear mental space. I really need to kind of let the creative juices flow, if you will. So how do you get into your mode?
Yeah, so I think for me, the preparation starts way before the actual event. So
so you're trying to say this is a little shade. You're saying that my 2 hours before is just not good enough. Y'all, he's got me. Facebook Live viewers, do y'all see that? He's got me on the shade bus. Okay, that's okay.
I like that you're kind of in the zone right before it. But, you know, so I would, for example, do a project where I go out there and take pictures of something that I want to get hired for.
Okay.
So that's a part of my preparation, you know, and I'll do it. I'll get some feedback from people on the photos, and then I'll pitch to clients to say, hey, you know, this is what. So there'll be already some preparation work done before meeting with the client. But, you know, also for me, a big part of my preparation is not losing the customer perspective. So
that's deep.
If you hired me, Amethyst, you know, what you want is something that needs to stay relevant throughout my process, you know. So I have to start thinking like Amethyst, you know. Who is Amethyst? Do all the research I can possibly do, you know. So going into a project requires talking to all of the stakeholders. So if someone else is going to be in the photo with you, I need to talk to them, you know. So I talk to even some of the people that are not paying me, you know. I get it. You're the one signing my check, but that other person is a stakeholder here, and I want to make sure I deliver the greatest value for everyone that's involved with it.
Wow, mind blown, y'all. He didn't watch Beychella. He did not watch Beyonce at Coachella, but he's on some Beyonce level kind of excellence right now. Like, that's phenomenal. So going back to something you just said about you asked kind of people for feedback, maybe like on some pictures that you've taken. Who are the people in your sphere of influence? Are these family members that you're asking, or are these other artists?
Yeah, so I talk to other artists. I talk to friends and family, you know, and sometimes one thing I do is I have someone else throw my work out there to somebody that I have no connection with.
Awesome.
And that way I get feedback that's where they're not feeling sorry for me and don't want to hurt my feelings. So, you know, I'll say, hey, can you check with some people and see what they think of this, and I take that feedback too.
Now, is that a hard process for you? Because as a creative, like, I think Erykah Badu best said this, like, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff. Like, are you is there some type of feelings attached to that? Because this is your art form that you've kind of produced and you're sharing.
Yeah.
Is there kind of some...
It is to a degree. Especially money spent.
Time,
I had resources. I had a fancy dinner last night. The client has already paid me before the
before
shoot.
You even started shooting.
Yeah,
wow.
So then I go in and shoot, and
the
customer's not happy. Of course, that's gonna keep me up, and that's gonna lead me through another process of what is it that I didn't do, and to get involved. So I am involved emotionally. I'm attached to the stuff. I want to do great work, but most importantly, my involvement requires that honest feedback, because I can't grow without that.
I feel it, absolutely. And I think, you have some heavy hitter clients. They're taking you to fancy dinners and paying up front. That's the type of clients I want in my life. But in a second, right before we have this next break, or right afterwards, actually, I want to know kind of who you hope to work with in the future. Like, if you have any kind of ideas about who you want to work with. So hold that thought. Don't answer quite yet. Right. But for our Facebook Live viewers, we ask that you actually subscribe to our show on all major platforms, including iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. In addition to that, please review our show on iTunes with constructive feedback, share our Facebook Live post and the entire show with your friends and family, and if it's on your heart, please donate to our mission to bring enriched and inspiring content each and every week. You can donate at www.thesphere.tv/donate. Facebook Live viewers, it has been an absolute and esteemed privilege and pleasure to entertain you for the last 15, 16 minutes, but it's time for us to go. So if you actually want to hear the rest of this interview, please tune in to iTunes or YouTube or any of the platforms that I just mentioned. Mr. Kai, you want to say bye to our Facebook Live viewers?
Bye, everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks for tuning in.
See y'all next week. Okay. All right. So the answer to my question, do you have any hopefuls that you hope to work with in the future?
Yeah, just no big names, but if you're starting a brand today, a clothing line, if you're a person who's serious about your own personal brand, maybe you're in communications, you're in whatever industry you're in, and the visual aesthetics of your brand is important to you.
Yes, the unique Kai Dunn in your life. I'll finish the sentence for him.
I want to talk to you, and I want to work with you now at the beginning. And I want to work with you 5 years from now when you've made it big and achieve a lot of good things.
So you're really interested in the growth process.
I love it.
And that's I think, and from what I know about you, you're so patient. Like, I've seen you work, I've seen you shoot, and y'all, when I say you're very methodical. It's a really amazing approach to your work. And now that you just kind of explain to me kind of the before, what happens before, now it kind of comes together, but you're so precise in your movements. And so I love that, because it seems like I don't think you ever have a bad shot. I'm not there in the editing room, but I don't think you ever have a bad shot, because you're so careful in how you place yourself and how you're looking at the subject, which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, and sometimes the people on the set, like when I work with you, just having another perspective. So
thank you.
I'll say, hey, Amethyst, can you take a look at this? Should we be shooting this? What do you see? And I think incorporating that perspective is so important, because sometimes you have to see things many different ways. So.
And I hope that you never lose that, because like you just say, you are definitely interested in the perspective of others who may be stakeholders, to use your word from earlier. And I think that sometimes creatives can get in this box where they're like, this is my creative piece, this is my work, don't touch it, don't come near it. And I think that kind of stifles growth. You can, you can always grow from other perspectives in the room. So I really pray that you never lose that.
And you form great relationship. People are free to talk to you. They're open with you. They're able to give you honest feedback. Because they too feel like they have a serious stake in it when you start to get their viewpoints.
Yes. So how do you handle things under pressure? Like, for instance, African Fashion Week. Things are happening at a very, very rapid pace. And you sometimes cannot be as precise in kind of your movements as you would like to be on a typical shoot when you have like maybe 4 hours of studio time or whatever. So how do you handle yourself yourself under those type of pressurized situations?
It's all anticipation. So I do some research going into it. I kind of find out what the brands are that's going to be there. And if I can shoot them an email to say, hey, is there anything big that you're going to be showing? You have a new collection, so I can see it. So I know I have a good sense of what's coming, and I just, I pick my spot.
So it's very few items or things or situations that really take you by surprise, Mr. Kai Dunn.
Yeah, when that does, I just kind of keep my fingers crossed and hope to get the shot.
I like it, though. I think that I can even employ a lot of strategies kind of like that in my own life in general, just being more prepared, because I like things to just happen kind of spur of the moment. I love a little spontaneity in my life, but not all the time. And so I think that this preparation that you just kind of encouraged me.
I think it was Louis Pasteur that said, "Chance favors the prepared." And
come through quotes. Yes.
That's always been sort of a guiding thing.
Absolutely. I like that.
And when I don't prepare Amethyst, a lot of things goes wrong.
Really? I doubt it. I can't even imagine things going wrong for you. Like, seriously, you're always prepared. Even when you don't think you're prepared, I'm sure of it that you're prepared.
Thank you.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about, since you mentioned lifestyle shoots or lifestyle photos, what kind of beauty looks do you like to photograph? What kind of beauty looks do you think, or makeup looks do you think photograph best?
Yeah, I like, high fashion looks.
Okay.
So incorporating the entire sets with maybe a high fashion home.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, that's
okay.
Sort of,
so the background needs to be speaking something too.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Got
so
it.
You got the beautiful person, and then you have all the right aesthetics in place, and you create the best image you can.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. Okay. And when you are talking about, I want to kind of dip back to what we were talking about before, hardships in general. If you have advice outside of being prepared, which is definitely important for our viewers, but do you have any advice for maybe up-and-coming photographers as they are kind of building their portfolios or facing hardships, kind of how they can rebound?
You need to start. I think that's the most important thing. Start taking pictures.
Okay.
Take pictures every day.
Really?
Take pictures every day. Take pictures of everything you can possibly get your eyes on. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get started. Even a simple gear is good enough to start a capture. Find your sweet spot and just keep rolling.
Okay.
Another thing would be that put a form or structure to it. Get a website.
Okay.
Get a website.
I like it.
I've met a lot of amazing photographers who just don't have their work anywhere. So you say, how can I see your work? And that takes maybe days to come. They don't have a website, and sometimes it's as simple because I'm at the barber shop and I'm talking to someone and say, hey, what do you do? And I say, I'm a photographer. Can you send me a text message with your website? It's never, can you send me a few pictures you've taken? They want to see the body of work. They want to see what I've done. So yeah.
Okay, cool. In a second, we're actually going to kind of delve a little bit more into that and just ask more questions about how you kind of curate the experience of your consumers. Like, how do you select which pictures go on the website? Like, kind of some information about that.
Okay.
But right now, I like to say that this portion of the show is actually sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and overall health and well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon the foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and a friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable, but Dr. Baptiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Baptiste at Elite Dental Wellness by calling 713-789-8680. Okay. So for those maybe up-and-coming photographers or for those more established photographers that you were just talking about who don't have their work displayed on any real platform, structured platform, what advice would you give to them about kind of picking pictures to display?
Yeah, so the first thing would just take a good look at the pictures.
Okay.
take a look at the photos, ask yourself some basic question, you know. Let's start with maybe, does it speak to you, you know? What does it say?
Oh, he's getting real philosophical. I wasn't ready. I was not ready for that answer. Oh my, I thought he was going to be like, oh, okay, is the color right? Is the color gradient okay? No, he started at the philosophical letter. Does it speak to you?
It's never,
yes,
you know, just clarity, right? It's also the right composition. Is there something in this photo that doesn't belong? You know, so because you want to make sure that that photo is saying something and it speaks to the viewer, and someone can say, oh, I want that photo for myself. I want to take a picture just like that, you know. Or even you, the photographer, can say, man, if I ever do a shoot, you know, that's where I'm the subject. That's going to be it.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. What do you think? Oh, were you finished with it? I don't want to cut you off because this is getting good, y'all. This is getting good. Okay, was that it?
Yeah,
that's all he's going to give you out today. You got to book a consultation to get more than that from Mr. Kai Dunn. I'm just saying because it's more where that came from. But when you think about your entire body of work, and I've just seen a little glimpse, and I'm excited. But when you think about your entire body of work, what is your favorite kind of photo shoot or picture that you've ever taken?
Yeah, it's hard to, you know, pick a one picture, you know, and sometimes the pictures that are your favorites probably for personal reasons. You know? I have a picture of my daughter that I really like. You know?
Of course.
Yeah, but I think overall it's just every picture that I've taken that really inspired me and had a human subject, had somebody, a person in that photo. So that's where the people and it's a beautiful human. So that's where the beauty comes in.
Absolutely.
And maybe it says something about their lifestyle too.
I agree. Okay, I would love that. So when you think about fashion, because if y'all don't know, let me just tell you. Mr. Kai Dunn is a fashion icon in his own right. He probably won't admit it, and that's okay, because he's real humble like that, but I'll say it for him. The man can dress, okay? And he can probably give y'all a few tips. So I do want to kind of know, how would you define your personal style? Because I feel like as a creative, as an artist, your personal style, even how you dress, kind of comes through and you know, like your artistic ability kind of comes through in that way too. So how would you define your personal style?
Yeah, for me, I think I feel like if everything I'm wearing is brand new, I'm doing something wrong.
Really? Okay.
So
and tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah,
why?
So, you know, I like to incorporate something from, you know, the past. So maybe it's a bow tie that I've had before, you know, and it sort of fits right with this new suit, right? So yeah, it's just everything doesn't have to be brand new, but it's just, you know.
And I love that you said that. And I was being surprised because that seems to be going against the grain of what the current states or, you know, like the current fashionable, I guess, trends are dictating. Like everything needs to be new. Everything needs to be this.
But it's also, you know, where when you look, maybe you're on Instagram and you see a shirt next to pins and the sunglasses and the shoes and everything's in the outfit is laid out in that way. You also think of it in the sense of your bed. You throw your clothes on the bed and you kind of look at it. That's the same perspective you get in. So yeah,
I never thought about it like that.
That's how it starts, you know. That's how I see it. I throw it on the bed, walk around, look at it.
Make sure it's all speaking to you. Going back to your point before.
That's right.
So when Kai is dressed at his best, what are you going to see? Are you going to see some staple elements? Is it always going to be a bow tie? Is that like your pinnacle of like dressed up, or what are people going to see when they see Kai like dressed to the nines? What maybe three things?
I like, you know, ties, but I think a blazer is sort of something that I try to stay close to.
Nice. Okay. What else? Are you into shoes like that? Are you?
I like shoes.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a couple of looks that I like, but it all depends on the occasion too. You know, so denim, you know, khakis.
So are you a denim snob, though, when you think about denim? Are you like, it has to be, I don't know, Seven of All Mankind? Like, it has to be a certain brand?
No.
Or are you just like, nice denim is nice denim?
It's really what you're pairing it with, you know? So there's a look that, you know, maybe you want to get a sort of denim jeans, jacket thing, and you want to do something different. You want to throw a dress shirt under and do a tie and do some khakis with it. You know?
So you can remix stuff. You can definitely remix a few elements.
That's right. That's right.
I like
and you
that.
can also mix up the formal and the casual too if you want. That's another way to pair it.
So what do you like to shoot in? Like, what's your go-to outfit for when you like to shoot? Because when I'm working, like, I have my go-to, almost like a work uniform. Like, usually for me, at least as a makeup artist, it's like a branded shirt, like, you know, a shirt with my logo or whatever on it, and some really comfortable pants or leggings or something, and like a denim coat just in case it gets cold. But usually under my makeup lights, it's really, really hot. So I try to dress pretty light so that I'm not like melting in front of, you know, everyone, moving and shifting all kinds of products and all that. So what's your, like, do you have an outfit or a type of look that you like to shoot in?
Yeah.
Comfortable?
I like to, you know, maybe I'll do jeans, you know, comfortable shoes and do a vest.
What? That is your go-to? God, you're so fancy. I love it. So a vest. Like, you like to, why that?
Yeah, because sometimes I'm shooting events also. And, you know, so sometimes it's also when I'm shooting fashion, it's kind of, I put some thought into it. I expect my clients to do the same.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay. So right after this last advertisement, I'd like to know some of your favorite kind of spring trends for men fashion, if we could kind of delve into that.
Okay.
But right now, this portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, your product placement and advertising needs can be handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the U.S., and we also have a lot of modern countries on our tab as well. So if you are interested in some enriched content and inspiring dialogue coupled with your strategic ad, excuse me, I got too excited, then please make sure that you consider The Sphere. You can reach out to us by calling us at 832-772-7789, or you can send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. Awesome. Thank you, Sphere. Okay, so to close out, what kind of are you looking for or looking towards in terms of fashion for the spring or summer? Because Texas is hot. Houston is hot. So kind of how do you dress nicely in 100 degrees? How do you handle it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it's also a lot of fabrics that's light, hopefully.
Okay.
Do a lot.
You got a little linen suit you
yeah,
have to pull out?
do a lot of, you know, do a lot of colors too, you know. However, I think, you know, with clothing, I see people with all kinds of fancy stuff, you know, but what's been, you know, getting my attention lately, you know, you see, you know, guys who are, you know, well dressed and everything, but also the skin is a little off, you know. So I think there's a trend now where more men are getting in skincare, you know, and there are some amazing products. I found out myself that I didn't even know how to wash my face properly.
I love it. Okay.
I thought it was one of those things you just throw water on and you're done, right?
And you're done, yeah.
But
it's a little more to
you
that.
know, I found a brand, I think it's called Brickell. Yeah, and there's they do some amazing things with the products. There's a whole skincare regimen that they have.
Is it specifically for men or for everyone?
Just for men, you know, and it's amazing. They don't only give you the products, but they teach you how to use it.
Wow.
You know, that's when I found out that, hey, I'm not doing this right.
Yeah.
You know? So there's you wake up in the morning and there's a charcoal thing that you use to clean your face.
They're serious with it. Okay, it's a step system. Yeah.
You do that before you go to bed, and then also there are ways in which you know, you moisturize your face. You know.
What?
Yeah, you put a little bit there and you kind of rub it in circles.
Okay.
And all of that.
I love it.
So it's been, you know, what I've been talking to a lot of my friends about, and myself trying to step up in that category, just because I feel like we've all, you know, been able to go out there and get clothes and put the right outfit together, but just, you know, as men, learning how to take care of our skin is something that's important.
Awesome.
You know?
So have you in your circle, in your sphere of influence, these people who you're asking to look at your work and give you feedback, your friends, have you kind of hit them to the game too? Like, how do you nicely say that? like, bruh, I have something that could work for you. How do you do it?
Yeah, so there's a friend that, you know, and usually sometimes they start the conversation.
Okay.
So someone said, hey, man, I don't like all these dark circles under my eyes, you know. I said, are you getting enough sleep?
I love it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting enough sleep,
Yeah.
but maybe it's something you should try.
Yes.
You know, and I just you know, send them a link to
Okay.
like, hey, go get some samples.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Oh, they have samples too?
They do. So
Oh man, that's amazing.
yeah, so he started to, you know, use this product, and there was a time where he was just standing up and looking at me. I was like, "What's up?" You know, and he's like, "Oh, you see it?" I was like, "Wow, I see."
Wow, so you saw a difference.
I saw a big difference.
Wow,
you know, just
okay.
You know, with
Wow.
the dark circles under his eyes.
And you know, I think that's, I mean, I don't know if this is just marketing or kind of what women are taught as they are kind of maturing and becoming young ladies, but it's very important that as you get older as well, that you're caring for yourself in certain ways. And so I don't think that, well, maybe in some households or whatever, it's not kind of instilled in the young men kind of the same.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that this is really important, especially if young men in our age group, as they're getting older, to really care for themselves and their skin. You know?
That's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
I'm finding that it makes a lot of things easy. You know, it makes it easier for me to edit your photos.
I love it, exactly. But that's something true. And then I think when you just feel better, or when you look better, you feel better, and sometimes you do better.
You feel great.
It all kind of comes together.
Yeah,
so imagine you gentlemen having the clearest skin ever and the nicest clothes, and you on to something.
And it's easy. And I mean the products, you know, they're manly products. You know, it's kind of this one there. It smells almost like a green leaf.
I love it. Okay, so they really gotta get it in there.
You don't have to worry that this doesn't fit you, you know, and so forth. It's good.
But are there products you use morning and night, or just once a day, or what's the regimen?
Yeah, so this thing I do it twice now.
Okay.
And I've been doing it for just a few weeks, but I do it in the morning. I do it before I go to bed. You know.
I love it. Okay, so you got a regimen.
Yeah, you know.
I love it. I think more men need that. So, yeah, Mr. Kai Dunn is dropping some real jewels today. So make sure you catch that one as well. Absolutely. So as we're finishing and closing, do you have anything else you want to say to the viewers?
You know, just Amethyst, thank you for having me.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
great being on the show, and you know, to everyone out there, I think get out. Be a subject in a great photo, hire a photographer, you know, make sure that if something's out there of you, it looks great and it tells your story. You know? It represents who you are.
I love that. As you just said that reminded me, you're going to have to come back, because now we need a whole session about personal branding. Because now you just said that.
Also, I need to throw this out there. I was in D.C. a couple weeks ago, and I noticed that, you know, all these coffee shops I was going to had someone maybe in their 70s, they're sitting with somebody in their 20s, you know. It's like, how do these people know each other, you know? So I started to do some research, and I said, you know, who is my oldest friend, you know? And I have, you know, friends that are in their 50s, you know. But I think it's important now for me to find friends that are just the huge generation gap, you know, people that are maybe in their 70s or so. I think there's a lot of wisdom there, and I'm very curious about that. So
that's phenomenal.
You know, I'm looking for new friends, preferably old people.
God, that is hilarious, but so true as well. There's so much that you can glean from that type of wisdom. I think the benefit, my mom had me very young as a teenager, and then her mom had her also very young. But I think one of the benefits of having kind of a young kind of family is that I got to know my great-grandparents very well, my great-great-grandparents even. And so I feel like at least I wish I would have as a teenager, you know, being so busy with my activities and what colleges I would be kind of considering. I really wish I would have taken some time, a weekend, a Sunday after church, and just sat down with my great-great-grandmother or my great-grandmother even, and just been like, tell me a little bit about your life. What did you experience? Or maybe I thought I was always mature, but maybe I just wasn't in that mindset. And now as a 19-year-old woman, you know, later on in life, now I really wish that I had that type of wisdom. And my mom is great, and my grandmother's, but it's something about that, like you said, older wisdom.
Yeah, and I think a friend is, you know, it's a different relationship also.
Yeah,
you know?
True.
Yeah, so most of the friends that we have now are people that we probably went to school with, you know, most of them are same age as us, you know. them. So those are the people we're trading stories with. Those are the people we're talking to all the time.
Absolutely.
But when you step out and you start to talk to someone who is 75, the perspective is different, you know. And also they're giving you a lot of solid information on what to expect in the days ahead. And you can also, you know, see their path and kind of learn from them and make those adjustments, because you're going to get there too.
Hopefully, God willing. So, that is the plan. That's the hope.
And it also inspires you to be able to have some younger friends, you know, who can benefit from what you're learning, you know, from what you know as somebody who is 28, 30, you know, older.
Yes.
So.
Yes, older than 19, because as we said before. No, but as we're closing, please do. I know that the people who are watching us on any of our kind of visual platforms can see your Instagram, your Facebook, or your blog information, your website. But for those that are listening on our podcast, please tell them again where they can find you on social media and everything.
Yeah, so my name is Kai, Kai is my first name, and my last name is Dunna.
Yes.
And that's just my Instagram at Kai Dunn. And my website is kaidunna.com. So check it out. Drop me a line just to say hello.
Yes, especially if you're over 70, because Kai and I are coming to look for you. Exactly. We may have to plan some time to go to a senior citizen or a senator or something like that, just to kind of help with this project, because I'm down for it.
It's necessary.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Kai, for joining me tonight.
My pleasure.
And thank you all for viewing or listening, whatever you're doing. We truly appreciate your viewing us and listening to us and joining us. So we hope to see you next week at the very same time, at the very same place or places. And this is another episode of All Things Beauty. Signing out. Bye, y'all.